Okay.
Recording.
Alright. I didn't prepare a slideshow or anything. I'll share screen anyway just for the stuff anyway, just something to look at, but I didn't prepare anything special today.
This is a really good time to be right back.
Of course. Right when we start. All the time before that. Alright, Casey.
Yes.
Yes.
So anyway, so I looked at the videos from yesterday, not yesterday, from last week. Saw certain things, so forth. So hopefully everyone has a better idea of how the boss basically works. We didn't get to practice the mech phase very much at all, except for 1 or 2 times. But even then, it was just in peace at that point. So currently, the way we have it set right now is we have the BMs on the leg. We have one range person in between the leg and the ads, and 2 people on ads. For the most part. Now, that being said, for our actual, when we get close to clearing it, what will probably have to happen is we have 2 people on leg, 1 person on ad with the range person helping kill the ads as well. I haven't tried every combination yet, obviously, of partners and so forth. I do know that it's 100% possible to just have 1 person plus a range player kill the ads. Me and Gina were doing it for an extended period of time last week. So it's 100% possible to do that. That being said, it may not be possible for every combination of players. So I will probably be experimenting with that a little bit, just to find which 2 players can handle the ads by themselves without help. However, that being said, it is important that we get through the ad phases and hit into the actual phase of the boss. So at least for the first part of the progression, we will still be doing 2 people on ads plus range, and then just a BM on leg. Now there were 3 variations that some people have brought up, and one potential way we could also do it is we put the BM on ad because of their block approach skill. That is a viable way to do it. The only reason I'm kind of hesitant with that strategy is that you're kind of wasting our strongest DPSing just to kill ads, when we could literally just have them on the leg and take big leaps, since they literally do more damage than anything else. Aside from probably like that and Gina. So I feel like it's a waste, to be honest. And because, literally I can just kill the ads with Gina, no problem. I don't see why everyone else can either as well, with practice at least. So the other things I noticed is that some groups were pretty good with how the fight worked. Some people were really good at keep track of the BM ad that went to the house ad, whatever you want to call it, the shield ad. However, one thing I did notice is that there are a few people who, if you were too slow to get to your hiding spot and you got the little laser debuff, well, a lot of times what happened is they would just literally not move quick enough and destroy everyone. So that's something that's very important, that you do get into your hiding spot in time. There's a time and place to squeak out extra DPS, but not yet. We're not quite there yet where the little extra stuff is going to make a difference. And that is something that literally you can do. You don't need to practice that. That's something that you can really just do. Those are very minor DPS tweaks you can practice with. But if it makes you die and wipe the raid, it is not worth it at that point, obviously. So I want to make sure that everyone realizes, DPS optimization is important, but getting to phase and not wiping the raid is far more important than a little extra DPS you do try to squeak out, 2 seconds more. We're not there yet where the DPS is gonna make or break us yet. So we haven't cleanly got everyone to phase yet, and so that should be our top priority tomorrow. Is getting to phase and practicing the phase and making sure that goes through cleanly first. We were able to get the legs to phase, and the boss's HP will be roughly about 80-ish% when that does happen. But one thing I did notice is that we really do need everyone to be alive when we go into phase for this to work nicely. Just one person dead, even though 100% you could literally just 3-man this thing. Maybe even 2-man if you're like super aim. But it really does need everyone to be alive for this to work nicely. Especially with the leg DPS balance. If one team is dead, the other person has to compensate for it. The DPS on the leg is lower, it's not balanced anymore. People have to rotate to different legs to balance it out. And it makes it a lot more messy than it has to be. So 100% needs to fix that. The other thing I also noticed is that, and this is probably true for people who are hiding, is that be very careful of the little green laser line after image stuff. This stuff still gives you dot. It looks like it's gone. It looks like it's safe. That is a lie. You touch it, you get a debuff stack. And it's really easy that if you're hiding behind here by the robot, and it's been a triangle one, and you dash forward or just walk forward into it to approach, you'll probably get a stack. And I'm pretty sure people realize that these stacks are no joke. They hurt a lot. Very similar to like the stacks in Boss 1 that hurt a lot if you got too many of them. These stacks are very similar. So be very careful when you approach in or when you get back to the boss to fight the leg, that you watch out if it was recently been a triangle version or not. If it's the star one, easy. He's not gonna hit you. This triangle one, I have seen people literally just not realize that they got stacked because they just walked through this thing. Because that stuff right here is active. It's not gone. It's still there. And if you keep walking back on it, you keep getting more stacks. So be very careful with that. The other thing is it's very important to not get stacks by any means. The other thing that people get stacks from is a little jumpy attack. Right after these waves, this little first thing is hitting people. I've noticed that. This first one should be agent blocked, followed by ice. It does work. We've a lot of the runs we did do, we actually got a successful agent block, and then we did get successful ice right after, and that did work very nicely. Just be very careful though. When you do this, if you don't trust the first one, always press an iframe the very first one at least, just so you don't get screwed over. Because if you get hit by all these little wave things, each of those wave things give you stack. And again, because you're not going to be the DPS unless you range for an extended period of time because you're hiding, it's going to catch up to you. And for a lot of people it does, So be very careful. Make sure that this wave attack is iframe. Again, it should be agent block into 2 ices, but if you don't trust, or if you're too far away from your party or whatever else you may be doing, you're slow to kill ads, so you're not out of range, make sure you have some iframes, or you're watching the boss to jump over it or dodge it. I'm pretty sure SS can work too. I haven't tried it necessarily. I use it in iframes, but I'm pretty sure regular iframes can just block this thing. So that's something to keep in mind. Please.
Quick question about that.
Yeah.
So if we rock it, we don't have an iframe up, we get a stack. Are we technically HM blocking the first 2, but rocking the first or the second one so we don't get the stack, or are we on our own for that one?
Well, I've noticed that I've kind of experimented a little bit. So I've noticed that probably the easiest way is HM block the first one, and then you become icicle in the second and third. So the ice will last the second and third hit. It won't last all 3. That one I know. But the HM block, then ice, basically.
Well, I
That will
do.
work.
I HM block the first. Beb usually shifts for the second. I think Cataract stays him for the third, but I break out of it to DPS, and then I just time my SS to iframe the hit to get back
Yeah,
into
you can
spot.
do it. As long as
Okay.
you're covered with all 3 iframes,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But if you get ice on the second one, the ice should last long enough to the third. Though of course,
Or-
at that
or
point,
you can jump in.
you want to be hiding. If you're gonna take the ice for 2 hits or the 2 last hits, make sure you're already hiding because obviously you're not gonna have time to try and break out real quick and get back in. Because after the 3rd hit, he's already gonna start scanning. So if you're gonna do that, be hiding already. So use the time to HM block and then start hiding with the ice. If you want to DPS longer, then make sure you have a person iframe so you're not gonna get screwed over by the wave. So. Right. That covers that part. Anything else? Stumps were okay. I'm pretty sure people realize this thing hurts really a lot. However, you can dodge it pretty easily if you just pay. As long as you're looking at the boss, you'll see it coming. But if you turn your back to the boss for a reason, you're killing ads, you didn't turn your side, this can catch up to you, and if you're too close to this thing, it will kill you. Especially if you have a stack. Stack plus this thing will kill you.
Another
Go ahead.
another question about those stomps. Is it a static one that it starts on, or is it
Yeah,
random?
it's always close to far. It's always, and so we don't know which leg it will go in. That's RNG.
Okay,
But the
okay,
pattern is always close to far. So
okay.
basically, that's why you shouldn't die this, because you can see it, because it takes a long time to make his leg rise. Then he does a first stop. So if you're killing ads or something, you see it coming,
Okay.
and then you can iframe this last part here. I have noticed though, if you position yourself nicely on this boss, when you kill your ads, you won't be in range of this thing, and it works pretty nicely. So it works actually.
Or if you're on the right to the shield.
I can just get a video open.
Is this incognito?
Imagine not using night mode. Disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
It is. Give it. Yeah, good stuff. This stuff will give you stack, even though it looks like it's gone. That stuff is still stack giving.
So melees just have to stay between the two on the legs or on the ad.
Basically, don't approach. Like a lot of times, like what I used to do before I realized what I was doing was I would just like approach in from here, and I'll clip this thing, and I'll get a stack. If you're gonna do it, either make sure that when you get there, you won't be like on this like edge here, or approach in from the front, because this part's safe. So come out to the edge and then approach in.
You can iframe through it though, I noticed.
Yeah, you can,
Or if your dash is an iframe, that's a problem.
yeah.
The moment you get there, you're gonna get the stack. Because like Warden 2 is an iframe, it's just a regular dash. So we come here to a foot, and we're gonna be stepped right in this little area here and get a stack. So if you do approach in, come out a little bit, then come in that way. Anyway,
PM things.
here we go. For the ads. Alright. So okay, you can barely see it. Oh, I see, turn around. Oh, doing the thing, that's why. Oh, wait, maybe this feels better.
Doesn't have chat blocked. Disgusting.
Why is everyone doing this laser? Why is everyone a range class?
Oh my gosh. Soon.
Right, so, oh, here's a PM.
It does laser anyway.
Cliff.
Very,
Maisa's just a DPS monkey though. I've seen this video like 10 times.
yeah, but he does go to the edge when he stops.
Yeah.
See that part. Okay. So if you stand right here when you kill ad, this is safe right here. Basically, what will happen is the little BM ad will come. He doesn't come straight in like the center. He comes like the entire pack is like a little bit offset to the left here. So if you stand right here, when you wait for them to come here and then CC, it will be good timing. If you out here or anything else, you'll be slow. So if you want to hit all of them at once, and your AoE is only 5 meters like mine, you stand right here, roughly about center on this little line here. And I was doing it at the 5 o'clock and it worked at the 12 o'clock. Cause, don't tell me it's not a circle, So,
It's immovable.
anyway. It is, but it's anyway. So anyway, if you stand right here, you'll be safe from the range of the little stomp attack. Keep in mind that the stomp attack, you probably realize, does happen when you're killing ads, because when you get to the second phase of the ads, when you try to come back in, it's usually on the time of the first stomp. So just be careful with that. I have seen people like kill the ads and then just not pay attention and just die or get hit unnecessarily by the stomp. Before you go in, stop before you walk in, look at the boss. Please just look at the boss before you walk in any closer, because you need to know what attack he's doing. If he's coming into a stomp, you will literally walk in the stomp and die. To avoid that, all you need to do is come here, run this way, look at the boss. Once you see what attack and realize what he's doing, then decide if it's safe to approach in or not. Do not just go here and walk in. I've seen literally almost every single person do this. They're like, kill ads, run here, dead, stomp, AoE knockback, dead. They do not even turn the character to look at the boss, see what it's doing, realize what it's doing, and either iframe in place or whatever it may be. So be very careful with that. I think the biggest thing here is to make sure that even though you're killing ads and you don't see the boss, you need to know what part the boss is on his rotation. Because again, there are a few attacks that will reach you even though you're out here, killing ads and having a good time, whatever. If you're on the lake, you always see what he's doing because literally he's in front of your face. But this is mostly for the people who are killing ads, So when you're turned around killing ads and focusing on this, you need to know what this boss is doing. You need to be aware of what he's doing at all times. Just so when you come back in, you're not walking into a stomp, you're not walking into a knockback or anything like that. So be very careful with that. So even though you are, focusing all your attention and brain cells killing the ads, you need to need a little bit to pay attention to what's around you. Otherwise, you can get screwed over. So that's just a little bit about that part. Okay, so this thing. So, and this part came a little bit better as time went on. Again, range players, remember, you're supposed to be DPSing in the space between this ad and where the ads come out. I know in the beginning part, a lot of people were like, the range player was on the other side, which is useless. There's really nothing that happens here, and you're too far away from the ads, and there's no reason to be on this side of it. You should always be on the side between where the ads come out and this fat one. Right? The leg might be over here, but you're range class. You literally just walk right here, and you'll be in range of hitting the leg. You can easily hide behind the robot, and you can turn back and hit the ads. So this is by far like every range player should be standing in this area here, depending. So if melee can get to the ad in time by standing by the leg, range players can do the exact same thing. So in fact, range players also have 40-meter dashback usually, so they have even easier time than melee to get to the thing. So you don't feel like you must be next to this thing at all times. It will be there. You can make it as long as you're paying attention to the boss. Right. So that's should be getting to the phase. So again, this part will depend a lot on our overall rate DPS and how much we can realistically afford to wait. A lot of the stronger groups will literally wait the entire rotation just to make sure everything goes nicely. We probably won't have that luxury to be able to time it as nicely. So sometimes, depending, we just have to go. We won't be able to make everything go nice. So just keep that in mind. So a lot of the videos you are watching with this, they do wait for the rotation to line up so these ads come out at roughly the same time. But again, depending what happens, we don't necessarily have all the time in the world. So we do need to just push it if we're stuff. So keep that in mind. Alright, so again, as a reminder, we're gonna have the BMs be taking the fat ones. Once an ad has been, or leg has been put to 1%, the very first ad that comes out is the fat one. So once you push to kill, the BMs have to immediately run to the entrance where the ads is. Now keep in mind, BMs, do not forget what the boss is doing. So even though you still have time to go out there, keep in mind the boss still likes doing his things. He still will stomp you, he will still knock you back, you still have the agent block and whatever. So do not forget what the next thing is. So you can't just like, oh, time to run. Nope, you'll die before you even get there if you don't pay attention. So keep that in mind. Again, if we time it nicely, these ads will come out at around the same time. But if it doesn't, the people who are supposed to be in ads, you need to make sure that you pay attention in his rotation to know when these ads are coming out. So you can DPS on the fat one and the skinny one a little bit, but you need to be making sure that you handle this. Because if you ignore this, your little protection bot gets rezzed up, and when it's time to hide, you don't got anything to hide with. So these ads are still top priority for people who are tied to that. Okay. After that, the little skinny one came out. So here you can see, I think that's the skinny one. That's a regular one. No, that's a skinny one. Right, so this little KFM guy, the skinny one. Basically, whoever was assigned to ads is also assigned to kill the skinny one. So that's basically 2 people at least for each group. Their top priority is killing the skinny one. The same thing for the range player. Range players are all killing ads and killing the skinny one. Top priority. So the only one who will be actually attacking this fat one is going to be the BM. And the BM, again, keep in mind, get it close to 50. So far, it takes a while. Oh, not that long. But it takes a little bit to get there. It has a lot of HP. But you want to basically attack it, have it close to the puddle, but don't let it eat the puddle. Or I mean that don't let yourself eat the puddle. So tank close to it, within 5 meters of this thing, but do not accidentally step into it. Otherwise, you have to drag it to a different puddle, and then it's going to be rest in peace. Be very careful with that. Okay, again, remember, Boss is still doing his things here. Once you see this thing, Butcher has dropped his saw blade. That means one of the ads, one of the fat ones, has reached 50%, and they successfully made it drop the 1 saw blade we get for the mechanic. Whichever group has it happen, whoever was assigned to chop the leg off would then pick up the sword. Again, they need to make sure they step in one of the puddles first, pick up the sword, and wait next to the leg to chop it off. At that point, everyone hopefully has killed the ads. They push this fat one to 50%. CC bars open up. You CC it stun first. You'll eat the puddle if you did correctly. The tank stands on the leg, and the boss rams it into the leg to disable his shield, which then allows the person with the sword to chop the leg off. Okay, so you see here. Wait. Okay, so that thing right there, that's the eating animation. So he pops his little thing. So that's the radius also of how big you have to actually eat the thing. Oh, I skipped ahead by accident. No, here's the. So we just watch this one here. So here they have still to kill the skinny one, and then the BM is hanging the fat one here. So they're gonna kill this thing as quick as they can. Alright, now they're gonna focus their attention back onto the fat one. Alright, so here you just saw that guy actually eat the poison. That was the eating animation. So this BM is just killing all the ads right now. There you could barely see, you saw him dash into the leg. Note that once he goes into his eating animation, he's going to dash right after, and that's your cue. So once you see him put his little hand in the ground and eat the poison, the BM needs to run to the leg to aim it, to make sure that he can disable his shields. Again, as a reminder, once your shield has been broken and you're assigned to the sword, so you chop the leg off, make sure you take the sword and give it to the next group who has shield down. Drop it down, let them know, that they have it, and you're done. Once the person has dropped the sword, they go and help kill DPS. And he has a ally, they'll kind of rotate around, make sure that all the ads have been killed, and nothing needs help CCing, whatever else. Also note, the person is assigned as backup for the sword. They do not take the puddle yet. Literally, it's for backup. So if you are assigned to backup puddle, do not take the puddle unless it's actually called for. If you take it, right? So let's pretend, the sword person takes their 1 puddle. You, as a backup, took the second one right away. If for whatever reason someone accidentally screws up, takes a puddle and dies or whatever, the ad doesn't have a puddle to eat. There's no puddle left. And what that means is he won't be able to disable the shield on the leg to break it to even use the sword. So you need to save your puddle in case, not only for the sword backup, but also in case the ad didn't eat a puddle for whatever reason. So those backups is not only just for the sword, is also for the ad to eat. So be very careful. It can also happen when someone like actually steps over it, doesn't know what happened, and dies. So they can't. They got rid of the puddles in the area. And what might even have to happen, and it happened in one of the other videos I saw, was the tank literally had to tank or drag the ad all the way to a different quadrant to eat the other quadrant's puddles, because all the puddles on their end were already taken by accident. So we want to avoid that at all costs. It's 100% not nice when that happens, but keep that in mind. So if you are assigned a puddle, do not take puddle unless you need it and it's called for. So there should always be 2 puddles active. 1 puddle is always gone because of the sword guy, but there should be 2 puddles for the person who's tanking the ad to make sure it eats one of the puddles. Again, I don't necessarily care which one. All I do care is that the fat one is tanked away from where the entrance is. And so I'm expecting us to need a little bit more time to handle the ads. Again, I have seen variations where they kind of tank them all together, but I think it's a little bit too risky, especially if it's hard to focus on which ad you're attacking, especially if they're stacked on each other. So I 100% prefer to have the ad dragged away from the entrance and be near a puddle, and then everyone else just focus all their attention at the entrances. The BM just solo tanks the fat one. Once we've successfully done that, each group has successfully handled their thing. Keep in mind that so this is their thing. So the BM is going to be on the fat one the entire phase for this part, at least. Everyone else, range players included, each person in a quadrant is responsible for making sure that their quadrant has gone through successfully. And this is one of those things where you need to make sure your quadrant is 100% done before you rotate to help someone else. Okay? So it's like the airplane. Make sure you put your mask on first before the child. 100% same thing. Make sure your quadrant is safe first before you rotate out. I have seen other groups where they need help. They left, and then their quadrant goes up in flames. And then now you have 2 quadrants in flames because this one could have literally just stayed 20 more seconds, helped finish it off, got it to drive in and whatever, and it been good time. But they left early. And they went, oh, this one needs help, I run. No. You help your quadrant first. If all the ads are dead, the skinny one is dead. He's not going to call out any more baby ads to come out. Then you may go and help another group. But otherwise, expect to only be concerned with your quadrant. If everyone only focuses on their quadrant and gets it done correctly, no problem. We will clear it. But if there is, a quadrant that needs help a lot, then that probably means something needs to change in terms of the dynamic and the teamwork. They either need to save cooldowns for certain phases or whatever else may be. That's something that needs to be optimized for the group itself. If it's an ongoing issue. So, even though we're all helping each other, make sure your quadrant is done. 100%. Do not help the other quadrant. They need to handle it themselves and learn how to. Because if someone always goes in, let's pretend Gina, is super good, kills everything's great. She goes and helps all the other things. If she does that, we won't know that there's a problem in the other groups. Oh, look, it went through. Didn't even realize. So it's very important. Stick to your quadrant, get it done, and so forth. That's the main thing. Because every group should be able to handle this set of ads and phase entirely with just those 4 people. There's no reason you need more than that. And if there is a reason, it may be because the group itself isn't functional, it isn't a good combination of players and classes. Which in this case, we would have to change it up to make sure that there is 3 groups that are comparable in strength. They can handle anything that gets thrown in their quadrant. So, let's see. So that's the main thing that we're going to be working on for tomorrow. Getting to phase and practicing the phase where we get the ad tank successfully, we kill all the ads, We get him to disable the leg and so forth. The last part of it is really easy. You just run up the leg, start attacking the head. This little back thing here is his back of his head, from what I can tell. And this part here is actual laser. So you always want to kind of look for where this little back entrance looking thing is, so you know where the laser is not coming out from. Again, it will go to the person with threat on, or the highest threatening person. We would like to have it to be Mia, so she can just take the laser and make it fire in the top half of the rim. Swaying back and forth. But keep in mind, if the Nano, whoever else goes in there and bursts out, they're gonna probably steal aggro first, and then laser will come right in the face. So be careful of that. If you have threat, or if you have aggro, even if you don't threat, just make sure you try your best to tank the laser at 12 o'clock. The area is very tiny, I realize. It's very small. It's very easy to fall off if you're not paying attention, you don't have good character control, whatever. But be careful with that. Try and hit H and block right away when you get up here, just so there's a little bit extra, couple seconds of leeway to reposition yourself. So keep that in mind. And other than that, it's just pure DPS. Keep in mind, if you do fall off, you can come back, but be quick about it. You've seen in many of the videos where they jumped off, and instead of trying to come back on, they just kind of sat down and waited. Depending on how soon or late you fell off, will depend if you stay and wait for the end, or if it's worth it to actually try and come back up here and DPS a little bit. If you die to come back up here, it's definitely not worth it. Because we need everyone alive, of course, to clear this thing. So any questions about what we're doing tomorrow and so forth? About how the phase works, who's doing what, anything like that.
So we kill the tall, skinny dude and leave the fat guy alone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Technically, I'm pretty sure the BM can solo the fat one. I'm pretty sure.
Does he need to
May-
die?
No, he doesn't die.
You don't kill it.
Okay.
50%. So literally, the thing has 400, 500 mil, whatever. And the skinny one has 250 mil, whatever. So basically, if you can kill the skinny one, you can kill the fat one, because you only need to get 50% of the HP.
Yeah,
And
yeah, okay.
One BM is already worth 2 people, so balances, yeah.
Yeah.
But you do need to CC them, right, to make them go.
Yeah. But it only has 2 CC bars. Now keep in mind, the BM is going to be soloing the damage up to that point, but the CCing, once they've killed the ads, the rest of your teammates will come and help you and make sure the CCs get through. So if you get close to it, tell your group, okay, I'm ready for it to go through, they'll come to you once they've finished their ad. So if you don't just push it and go into it and whatever. Wait for your group to finish their ad first. Then, once you see them finish killing their ads and whatever, then they will naturally come to the fat one to help you out.
Okay.
So basically just TPS as hard as you can to get as close to 50% as possible. And just wait for your groups so that way you have all your CCs ready, you don't screw up your chance, so forth. I do not know what happens if you hit 50% and you fail the CC. I'm not sure the rotation after that. If he just opens it up always or he'll be at a certain point. I'm not sure. So if that does happen, just keep an eye out BMs. If you fail the CC, see what happens and how, if at all, the CC bars will ever open up again. I'm not sure. But yeah. So any questions? Any more suggestions? So forth. Alright. Well, so, other unfortunate news. So, Catarex has father's birthday is tomorrow. So he will be missing the first half of raid. Now we all know what happens when those go Catarex. So we will have to figure it out. I'll have to figure out who's gonna replace him. I just found out today. And yeah. So it might be a little bit longer than expected. But yeah. He will be there in the second half though. So but hopefully we can get through the first boss without issue. Hopefully. Yeah. I'm tempted to make Casey take over his position, but it really depends on which player I get to replace him, because I have to swap the roles and so forth. I don't want to make too many changes into the stuff, but I will probably tend to, if I can't find anyone to actually take over that role successfully, I'll probably have Casey do it on that side, and then have whoever I fill in to do that job instead. Possibly even just have Spike. Oh no, I can't have Spike too. I would think about it, but yeah. Actually, maybe I can just. Oh. I'll think about it. Anyway, so that's what's gonna happen. So be ready. Yeah, be ready for the first half tomorrow. Make sure you're there early, on time, and so forth, since we may need all the time we need to get past that first one without cataracts. So, yeah. Meeting is
100%
officially
done?
done.
Okay.
What's that?